basketball, as that is an easy lay-in for Nina Tata, and it is 2-0. But make no mistake, the last 72 hours, all Craig Smith has been talking about with his team is, if we don't win in Fort Collins, it negates what we did Saturday night back at home.
Can't stub your toe here. It was the same as having lost in Logan against Wolfpack.
Utah State really does a good job sharing the basketball. This is Merrill, who had 29 in that big win. Brock Miller bangs a three, and a great start for Utah State, 5-0.
Miller has not been shooting the ball well in conference play, and for him to knock down a three early is a good omen for the Aggies. You know, if the Aggies make 10 or more threes, they are 11-1, and they're one on their way.
Here's Kendall Moore. We should tell you that Colorado State has 1-3 of 4, as we mentioned, but they're really thin. They have two rotation guards that have leg injuries. Anthony Massington-Bonner has an Achilles injury. He's missed, with this game now, 3 in a row. And Hiron Edwards, the transfer from Texas Tech, is going to miss his third straight game. Merrill, a little bit off, and it's tracked down by Moore.
Merrill's a great shooter, but when you're drifting to your left, it's hard to compensate. You've got to get straight up and straight down on his J. And you're right, Drew. Any more injuries to Colorado State, you and I are going to have to play.
Yeah, and that would not be pretty.
Oh, that would be ugly.
Carvacho gives it up, right back to Nico.
Notice they don't have to double Carvacho because of Tata in there and his ability to block shots.
And one of the best offensive rebounders in the country, Nico Carvacho. That's what he does.
He gets 4 offensive rebounds a game. Leads the conference. One of the tops in America.
And they are both fired up to play each other. These are really two very good big men.
Well, I'll take it a step further. They're the two best big centers in the Mountain West.
Quinn Taylor kicks it outside. And now Tata with it. With 9 on the shot clock. And he works inside. Well done. He's really polished for a kid.
I've seen him play 6 times this year. And he gets better. Not every game. He gets better every possession. He couldn't shoot that left-hander as the year started. The other thing is he's become a very good passer. You and I had him at Fresno State. He had 65th. And the reason that Colorado State's not doubling him is because of his ability to pass the ball.
Here's J.D. Page, second leading scorer for Colorado State. This is a great shooter at Thistlewood. He's also a freshman.
Well, he was 4 of 7 from beyond the arc in the loss at Utah State. You are correct. He's a very fine shooter. One of the better freshman shooters in the Mountain West.
Well, right in conference play, forget freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. He has the leading three-point percentage in conference play of anybody. David Porter gives it up, and that's a bumping foul on Carvacho. Take a look at the starting lineups tonight for both schools as Utah State's off to a 7-2 start. Brock Miller turned 22 this afternoon. Quinn Taylor, I guess this morning when he woke up, he was 22.
Well, it depends on when his mother gave birth. It could be later tonight.
Technically, you're right.
You know, one of the things that really helps in the starting lineup for the Aggies, they've had this starting lineup for the bulk of the year. They've been very steady, and there's Abel Porter.
Well, this is not the way Nico Meshed wanted to see the Rams start. He told us today, he said if they hit 10 threes, it's going to be a long night for them. And they are a team that hits a lot of threes.
Well, the other thing is, the Rams fell behind 14-2 at Utah State. So falling behind early to this team is going to be very difficult for the Rams to play from behind.
They're going to switch up the plays with Thistlewood. He's going to now inbound the basketball, not J.D. Page. The foul was on Brock Miller.
And make sure Carvacho gets a touch in this possession.
He has the only bucket. Rams are 1 for 5. Oh, there's the trap. And an ugly pass by Moore. Outside. Shot clock at 5. And Moore hits the 3 out of the far corner. Scramble offense late on the shot clock, and it works out. That's the 30th triple of the year for the freshman Kendall Moore out of Danville, Illinois.
Very good freshman. They have 2 freshman stars with Thistlewood and Moore. This is a good young core group.
There's the help, Chris Martin.
Great job by Martin touching the help side to intercept the lob.
Page against Merrill. Off to Carbacho. A lot of contact. That was pretty. A lot of English on that basketball.
And I tell you what, Cato was very fortunate there. He has a tendency to get into foul trouble. That could have been number one.
Yeah, one of the interesting things, Dave, about the huge win for Utah State Saturday night in front of that sellout was that Cato not only was in foul trouble, he eventually fouled out. Good drive by Quinn Taylor. He didn't play big minutes. You figure, he must have played 35 minutes and done his thing. He played in the low 20s in terms of minutes, and Utah State still beat Nevada.
Well, Pete Gillen did that game on TV for CBS. Pete and I talked the other day, and he said Utah State won that game with their defense. Their team defense is so good.
Chris Martin knocks down a triple. And it's 12-10.
Because he's a good passer, even though he's 6'11", can play up there at the elbow. He's not just a low block player.
And that'll be on Kendall Moore. First time out, 14:38 to go, first half. Utah State. Mountain West Basketball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Steel. Find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com. Drew Goodman, Dave Bullwinkle, courtside, and Taylor McGregor is with us as well as the Rams and Aggies getting together in Fort Collins for the first time in a couple of years. Last year, just one meeting between the two schools, and that came in Logan, Utah. The Rams, the last time these two schools met at Moby Arena, came away with the victory. And on the floor now is Dwayne Brown Jr. and also Diago Brito. There's Merrill, and he has his first bucket. What an outstanding junior out of Bountiful, Utah. Sam Merrill is averaging 20 and a half a game. And he lets the game come to him.
Well, he's not only a good shooter, a good passer, a good teammate, communicates very well. Not a great defender from a quickness standpoint, but a great defender from an intelligence standpoint. And his communication, talking on defense, sets the tone for how they play.
Pull up from Dwayne Brown Jr. And there's Carbacho, the leading rebounder in America. Lifts it down quickly. Page, and a little teardrop. Good looking shot. Loose basketball to Brito. Brito had a huge game in that victory over Nevada. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 7 attempts from the floor. Porter, a nice drive. When the Porters come on, we're changing their lineup about a third of the way through conference season, and it has made a big difference for Utah State.
A huge difference when he came in as a starter, and that's when they really got on a roll. They were good before that. I saw them play before when Stu Ames was a starter, and he did an admirable job. But Porter is a better player, and it's shown in how they played down the stretch here in conference play.
And just no foul situation where Moore stepped out of bounds. That's turnover on Colorado State, 16-10, Utah State.
Moore got bumped a little bit driving, but it's that time of year, the officials, hey, let the fellas play. I was at Texas Tech in Texas last night, and I'll tell you what, it was a game, you better have been tough.
Robbie Berwick, again, because of the Rams' injuries, Berwick has not been playing much at all, but the last couple of games, he's been on the floor, senior, transfer from Florida State, and a long rebound. Comes out to Cada. Boy, everything right except the left hand fell short that time for Brito. Here's Chris Martin. He's explosive, and he gets right to the hoop and lays it up and in.
One of the things I believe that Colorado State has to do, if they're going to win this game, they have to score in transition. Because once the Aggies get on half court, their defense is monumental. So you need to score in some transition. Berwick gets the foul. You know why Berwick's one of my favorite players? It's not because he's got your haircut. It's because he played in high school for one of my high school teams.
Is that right?
Yes. Jerry Camilleri in Cascadero High School down in Southern California.
Well, Robbie was a terrific high school player, recruited by Florida State. Didn't work out there. He's been with Colorado State. And just not many minutes for him since he transferred.
He's had some injuries, had some, tough luck that has slowed down his development.
Taylor against Logan Ryan, and he lays it up and in.
Logan Ryan has to be ready to play. He was adjusting his headband as Aggie was driving the basketball. Nice cut. That cut by Page set up the opportunity for Moore to drive.
And he gets the layup.
Sometimes those cuts, they don't show up as an assist, but they contribute to your teammates getting an open shot.
Brock Miller turns and fires. Martin upstairs for the rebound. That's a good matchup. Page. Oh, there's Ryan. Well done. You know what? You've watched him. He gets off the floor. He's a pretty athletic young kid.
Ryan, he can jump. No question about it. And a nice pass by J.D. Page. J.D. Page has had a great second half of his senior year.
Yeah, he really has. But that's a good matchup. Merrill and Page. Really nice matchup tonight. Brito's bumped and almost got the roll. So Diago will go to the line, but first a timeout. Nice tempo to this ball game. Utah State by 2 in 4.
On Discord.
Utah State leading Colorado State 18-16 here in the first half. You can see two of the Rams' key players without uniforms on. Anthony Massenton-Bonner and Hiron Edwards both out. Anthony aggravating his Achilles against Wyoming on February 23rd, and Edwards spraining his ankle the following game against Boise. These are two huge components for the Colorado State Rams, and they really had to adjust their game plan in the absence of these guys, Drew.
Yeah, and they're game to game. I talked to both of them earlier tonight. They hope to be available They have one more game Saturday in the regular season, then you have the conference tournament. So they are so hopeful that those two guys will be able to contribute.
Well, Coach Medved told me that when Colorado State played at Utah State, they had some success in the second half, pick and roll drives with those two guys. And unfortunately, that aspect of the game goes out the window when the two of them are out of uni.
Well, they both have respective boots on, and they said together, one has a right leg, one has a left leg. So, you get one player out of them tonight. Greedo goes 1 out of 2. 19-16 Utah State again. They are playing for a share of the league title. Nevada has 2 games this week. If they go clean, they could share the title if Utah State were to win here tonight. There's a 3 with traffic in front from Adam Thistlewood. That's his 50th triple of the year. He ties up the game at 19.
A nice job with the catch and shoot by Thistlewood. He was prepared. Do your homework early. Be ready to shoot it on the catch. He was.
Taylor, great feed. Sam Merrill, the gift wrap assist. Taylor, who averages 8 a game, has 6 here in the first 9 minutes of the basketball game.
Well, and he had a big impact upon that win over Nevada with 4 block shots, a career high.
Page is fouled. JD's winding down what has been a fine career at Colorado State.
Oh, he was born to play for Colorado State. His grandfather having been a great player here and drafted by the Lakers.
That foul is on Justin Bean.
I love Justin Bean as a story. He showed up as a walk-on and earned a scholarship. I have great respect for players that do that. It really shows his competitiveness and his commitment to being a basketball player. He wasn't handed a scholarship. He came here and earned it.
First couple of points for Page, and we're tied at 21.
You talked about the pace of the game, Drew. It's really been a great game. You know, Utah State got out early, and then Colorado State came back, and my goodness gracious, we've got ourselves an up-and-down affair.
Greedo, and there's the big man, Tater, with an offensive rebound.
Making use of those long arms.
Good box out that time by Carvaccio, and Page has the rebound.
And I like the way Page pushed the basketball, because they got down in the attacking area before Tater could get there to protect the rim.
When the Rams beat the Aggies 2 years ago here, it was similar in this regard to Colorado State. That was the year Larry Stacey's team had a ton of injuries also. Great drive by Sam Merrill. And it was, you know, the Gene Clavel show, if you remember.
Yeah.
And they literally played 6 guys. They were really good down the stretch. They were good in the tournament. This team is not nearly as seasoned as that team was, but they really only have 6 bodies that normally play.
Well, let's remember, Gene Clavel, he's starring for the Puerto Rican national team right now, and he played briefly in the NBA and got a chance to get back there. So they had a great player, Gene Clavel.
Yeah.
They don't have him right now. With him, imagine if they put him on this team.
Yeah, well,
because the Rams have really overachieved.
And that's credit to Nico Medved, who is very close friends with Craig Smith, of course, who's also a first-year head coach in the Mountain West. Craig Smith, who's done a marvelous job, obviously, and Nico Medved were together on Tim Miles' staff right here in Fort Collins for 5 years.
And they both told me that they have just great mutual respect for each other.
There's Medved. Carvaccio, and it's an offensive foul. Sam Merrill sold it.
I will
and that's 2 on Nico Carvaccio. That's huge.
I will beg to differ with the official, Kelly Cipher. That was I call that a blotting. That's a blotting. If you think of blotting, he backs in his ability to flop. The kind of awards, 10 days ago? He just won one. You know, in retrospect, he should have gotten one.
So Carvaccio has to come out at the 9.5-minute mark, basically. Logan Ryan right now has to guard Tata. and that's a mismatch. It's a mismatch in height. It's a mismatch in strength.
Well, what I'm doing if I'm Craig Smith, I'm getting Keita down the low post, and he's getting a touch every time down the floor.
Well, they identified it right away to their credit. Carvacho's done a much better job this year than he did as a sophomore, staying out of foul trouble. And Ryan on the other side, he's going to try to pull the big man away from the basket.
And a nice decision by Ryan to step out there and shoot that 15-footer on the baseline.
And Page digs and helps out, and he earns a turnover. Craig Smith had his arms outstretched. He was looking for a foul call. Once the dig came from J.D. Page.
And this is a Utah State team that's done a great job of taking care of the basketball. They turned it over the first couple games of this conference season too many times, 18 a game, and since then, 11 a game.
I think Coach Smith probably had a case. There was a lot of arms to go with a little basketball. Thistlewood, tough shot, and a weak side rebound to Justin Bean. Here comes Utah State, up by 2. And Bean is fouled as he was trying to throw it down. That's on Thistlewood.
Thistlewood comes across. I'm a big believer. If you're not going to dunk it, lay it in. Get the old-fashioned three-point play on the basket. It's nice to flush it, but it's even nicer to have a three-point play.
Bean earned a scholarship. He was told before the New Mexico game this year. And as exciting as that is for the player, when you see those videos that go viral now, it almost seems like the teammates are even more excited for the kid.
It's just like a late game situation when the guys that seldom play, maybe the walk-ons are on the floor. Those starters are cheering like a dickens for that walk-on to get a basket.
Yep.
They are all in this together.
Thistlewood, tough shot. And Logan Ryan somehow came away with it. And then Sam Merrill commits a reach-in foul. Well, now Ryan got that rebound with Keita right there. Good.
Find help at every turn with USAA Bank.
Well, the gentleman on the right is our referee today, Vern Harris. He's officiated forever. He is truly one of the best officials in college basketball. During the timeout, he did something very interesting. Nico Medved wanted a clarification on what he thought was a hold on his player. And Vern demonstrated for him. They had a very friendly conversation about it for about 30, 40 seconds. He demonstrated what it was and why it wasn't a foul, and then he slapped him on the backside, and they both respect each other and they move on. It's great officiating. You can communicate without being angry, right?
I call it proactive officiating. You're doing something that diffuses any potential problem down the road. The other thing about Burns, one of the preeminent officials in the country, and it was a great honor. Was it 3 or 4 years ago? He did the Final Four for the first time. Well deserved.
Blocked from behind by Ryan, and Keita stays with it. 8 points for the freshman from Portugal.
It's usually Keita doing the blocking, but Ryan's come in here. Remember, I was critical of him on the first possession. He wasn't ready in the dribble drive, but since then, he's had a very positive impact on the Rams' play, including that play.
Rams using clock. They don't want to play this thing in the 80s. And that three a little bit short for Thistlewood as Rito did a nice job closing out on him. Here's Merrill.
Notice how he slides in there and gets Page on his back.
That's broken up, but it comes to Bean who lays it up and in. Good break for Utah State. And it's an 8-point lead for the Aggies.
This is where the Rams have to prevent losing contact, and it's too bad they don't have Cavacho in for a touch. Now, we've discussed this before. Maybe Nico Medved has to roll the dice and play Cavacho earlier than he would have liked to.
That will help keep him on the bench. That three from Chris Martin. Martin's had a nice first half. Couple threes. He's got 8.
Transfer from Oral Roberts has really contributed to the first half of the set.
Keita loses it. And Ryan off to Moore. He's got a lob to Page, and he elected not to throw the pass. Page shoots the three, and just like that, it's back to a 2-point game. J.D. Page.
Well, we all know the three can turn the game in a hurry. From 8 down to 2 down.
And I'll tell you what, Porter's lucky. That would have been a turnover. It hit the sneaker of Moore and went out of bounds.
And see Page in the right corner gets a nice draw and kick, and Brito doesn't close out close enough on him. You got to turn him into a driver. Make him drive into Keita. He's not going to score off of Keita. Make him drive into Keita.
Good shooters who look at the floor for a second have the ability to drive. Usually get a little more space, right?
Yep.
3 to get a shot off. And that's a wild shot. Carvacho is back on the floor. So Nico Medved rolling the dice with 5:08 to play in the first half. His star big man has 2 fouls. Keita's not on the floor right now. Quinn Taylor's guarding Carvacho. Carvacho wants the basketball. And they're going to get Taylor
on a foul on a bumping Carvacho off the block. And I'll tell you what, NASCAR is rubbing his racing, bumping his basketball. Yeah. Guess what? That was basketball. Yeah. That was not a foul.
I agree with you. There was not a lot there.
No. Nico has to be careful on that screen. They're not sliding on it.
Merrill, who does everything, pulls down yet another rebound. You watch, folks. Sam Merrill's got 4 points. Now, at the end of the night, he's going to have 20-plus points, and sometimes you don't even notice how he does it. Miller loses it. Bean, line drive, jumper on the baseline. He's had a nice impact in this game for Coach Smith.
Contributor off the bench. This is a team that gets 25 points a night off the bench. They only had 5 points before that one in the first half. But Beans has been the guy off the bench, not Brown. It's been Beans contributing. Good job by Carvacho letting the traffic clear out. He's a very good low post passer. He gets over 2 assists a game, which is a lot for a big, because he passes well from there as he found his teammates with a 3 on that one.
And that's one of the areas Nico Medved told us today that he really feels like he's improved. Merrill draws attention. And now Taylor, double clutch 3. What a first half for Quinn Taylor. Doesn't shoot many threes, just his 18th of the year. And it's 36-29 Aggies with 3.5 to go in the first half.
And I'm a big believer that the guy with the ball can score, the guys without the ball can't. Somebody guard the guy with the ball. He had the ball. Get out on him.
Carvaggio cut off. Martin to the hole. And tapped in by Nico Carvaggio. He's got a half dozen. Merrill, such a smart drive by Sam Merrill. He knows that Nico Carvaggio is going to have to back off. He draws contact from Thistlewood, who picks up another foul.
Three there.
Utah State leading 36-31. That's Quinn Taylor, who has played for 3 different coaches in his time in Logan, Utah. He's originally recruited by Stu Morrill, the legendary coach for Utah State. Then Tim Duryea had him for a few years, and now he's playing in his senior year for Craig Smith. He's enjoying quite a first half, got 9 points.
On 4 from the field, and a pair of rebounds to go add to it. Our buddy Joe Cravens calls him a glue guy, and I think that's a good call for him. The ball doesn't stick in his hands. He moves the ball. He knows how to play. He doesn't have to have the ball to contribute to them winning, and it's shown up so far in the first half.
Knows his role. Sam Merrill does everything well. Shoots free throws at 91%.
9th in America at the free throw line. Tops in the Mountain West and 9th in the country.
Half dozen for Merrill. 7-point game again. Carvaggio, and he gets the roll on that right-handed jump hook, and he's left-handed.
I was out here at 5 o'clock, 2 hours before tip, and he was working with Dave Thorson, the assistant, on that right-handed jump hook. And that's just how it transfers over. You work on your game, it transfers to points when the game starts.
Taylor cuts through. Merrill pulls up from 18, and Carvaggio above everybody for the rebound. Here's Moore. He may be the quickest guy on the floor tonight. Kendall Moore, 7 points for Moore, the freshman from Illinois.
Quick as a hiccup. You know what happens? Quickness never takes a night off. And he's got that speed and quickness. He's a very good player.
He's bulked up, though, because he weighs 145 pounds now, and he told me he was 132 when he got here. There's a 3-ball. Quinn Taylor, 5 out of 5. He's got a dozen.
It's Quinn Taylor's world. He's just letting us visit for a while. He's having a heck of a first half.
It's been overall a heck of a first half, both ways.
It's been a very good game.
41-35. Martin's had a nice first half, and he'll get to the line. But Quinn Taylor, last couple of shots have been from distance.
He has an ability when somebody else is not scoring. I saw them play at Houston early this year, and Houston, who's a very, very fine team, did an excellent job defensively on Merrill. And, of course, for Taylor was homecoming. He's from Houston. He had a great game offensively. When other people aren't playing quite as well, he tends to pick up the slack.
It's interesting. Anish Keita came back on the floor, and with 1:40 to play, as soon as that happened, Nico Medved took out Carvacho and put in Ryan.
Smart move.
Very smart.
Very smart move. Don't want to pick up number 3 in the last 1 minute and 40 seconds.
10 now for Martin. That foul, by the way, was on Justin Bean a moment ago. 2 on Bean. So here comes Utah State. Merrill, a clean look, and he hits from 3. Sam Merrill, his 78th triple of the year. He's got 9 points, and every time the Rams kind of make a little bit of a run, Utah State moves it back to a 7-point game.
A great execution by the Aggies. They're a very good team offensively. We'll talk later about their ability to contribute from a passing standpoint.
Moore left alone.
I felt that Colorado State, because Utah State's half-court man-to-man defense is one of the best in the nation at taking 2s away. The Rams are going to have to make 3s to win this game. 9 or more 3s to win this game, and they're headed in that direction.
Well, Coach, to your point, team shoots is 38.8% all year against Utah State. And a whistle late. It'll go against Colorado State.
On 2s, they shoot 41%. That's third in the nation. Third in the nation in their defense against the 2-point field goal.
The foul was on Logan Ryan. That's his second.
Now, the one place
the 1-1
isn't very good. He's only 55% completion.
Most in the country as we check in with Taylor McGregor. Taylor?
Hey, yeah, guys, I just caught up with Nico Medved. He said he was really happy offensively with his team in the first half. He says the change needs to come defensively. He really wants his guys to be more aggressive, and he really pointed to Nico Carvacho. He said despite getting those 2 fouls early, he believes he's playing a little bit too timid, and sometimes when you play too timid, you therefore foul. So he really wants Nico and his entire defense to be way more aggressive this second half.
Yeah, so again, here's how coaches think. When teams shoot really well, they're pleased with how they play offensively, but they're miserable because the other team also shot well. Craig Smith saying basically the same thing to his team.
So if I'm Craig Smith, I'm very happy this first possession belongs to the Rams. We get to start on defense. I spent halftime talking about why we need to play better defense. Let's see if they pick it up to start in the first possession of the second half.
So here we go. Kendall Moore out there with Thistlewood, Carvacho, Chris Martin, and the senior J.D. Page.
And on the other side of the coin, if I'm Colorado State, I want to take a little time in this possession, make them have to guard a bit.
Porter, Merrill, Keita, Taylor, and Brock Miller for Utah State. 8 on the shot clock. Here's Moore. And it goes out of bounds. Colorado State will hold on. They'll have 6 seconds to get a shot off.
So that little deflection doesn't seem like much, but now they have to bring it with only 6 seconds to get a shot. Those are little defensive plays that contribute to your defense being good that don't show up in the box score.
Page gets doubled. He'll get a 3 off. And a good defensive sequence for Utah State. But Craig Smith, I'm sure, will be pleased with that. Here's Taylor. And he had that one blocked.
Adam Thistlewood, known as a shooter, becomes a defender.
Here's Carvacho. Martin free. Brock Miller grabs the basketball.
When Carvacho had the ball in the short corner there, he's got to attack Tate on that. He got the ball. He's got to look a little bit more aggressive at the offensive end as well. And, of course, Merrill, he's always going to be aggressive. That's such a smart player.
And he's a good player. He can shoot it. He takes high-quality shots, always. 11 in the game for Sam Merrill.
He can score at all 3 levels. The 3, the drive, and the mid-range jumper. Like, there we go. That's what we need.
And Carvacho missed it.
He's a 59% field goal percentage shooter. He's got to finish in those twos around the basket. He can't be worried about where Keita is.
Well, I think sometimes, and it's an area I'm sure Nico will work on in the offseason. He works on it now, that free throw shooting. Merrill gets the roll. Sam Merrill, 2 quick buckets. But Carvacho, I think because he's only a 50% free throw shooter, there's times he stays, Dave, instead of finishing strong as he should.
Couldn't agree with you more. You got players that are poor free throw shooters oftentimes try not to be fouled because they're embarrassed when they go to the free throw line.
9-point lead right now, the largest of the night for Utah State. So in the opening moments of that first half, CSU needs a big bucket, and they get it from guess who? Their lone senior out there, J.D. Page.
And Merrill knew he made a mistake. He made a reach and went for the steal. When he didn't get the steal, that opened up the wide open jumper for Page, and he made him pay. Little double high pick and roll. I like the way Keita adjusts his screen. He'll screen and re-screen.
Which way? The two closest officials communicating, and they decide that it is Utah State basketball. 7 on the shot clock. Keita has it knocked away by Carvacho.
And this is where Page has to push it. Get it down the floor before Keita gets set up in the paint. There he is. See, no Keita. And he gets fouled.
Well done. You could diagram that perfectly. Also, I know you talked about this a ton as a coach. When you have a really good offensive player, you want to make sure he has to work on the defensive end. He went right at Sam Merrill.
And plus, Page is quicker than Merrill. We said that Merrill is a very intelligent defender, but quickness is not his forte. Attack him off the bounce.
2 fouls on Merrill, who played 80 minutes of basketball last week. I can't believe it. It's the first time that Sam this year was the player of the week in the Mountain West Conference, right? He played 40 minutes against San Diego State in a huge win at the Spectrum. He played 40 minutes in that enormous win over the Wolfpack at the Spectrum on Saturday. 4-point game. And Colorado State won't go away. You saw this in the first half. Taylor, and the loose basketball off to Thistlewood.
Good job, Thistlewood looking behind him so the guy couldn't back tip him.
Page stays hot. 1-point game. J.D. Page with 13. 8-0 Rams run.
They're not the CSU Rams. They're the CSU Jack Russell Terriers. They're holding onto your pant cuff down there like Jeff Van Gundy was on Alonzo Mourning. And he's not going to let go.
Sam Merrill, that'll count. What a drive by Merrill. He got legitimately knocked to the floor by Moore. I don't know how he made that.
So as Merrill goes to the free throw line, I want to tell you a little story that Craig Smith told me. Talk about proactive leadership, okay? I call it self-authorized leadership. Sunday morning, after the big win over Nevada, he sent a text out to all his teammates. This isn't over. We have more to get accomplished. It wasn't under the suggestion by Craig Smith. Merrill did it on his own. That is a team leader.
Because I guarantee you, that kid didn't sleep well Saturday night. He was, I'm sure, elated for about 3.5 minutes about the victory, and then he was concerned already about Tuesday. He's got coaching, right?
Yeah.
The foul was on Taylor. Carvacho had a block by Taylor. It'll stay with Colorado State. The crowd naturally at Moby Arena wanted a foul on Taylor.
Yeah, I think Taylor got him with the body. He didn't get it up top, but the body should put Carvacho on the line.
Pico was fouled that time. And Merrill was around. If it's not on Merrill, it's on Keita, and that's 2 on Keita.
So Nico brings the ball down. Cardinal error. You're 6'11". Don't make yourself 3'11". Keep the ball up high, chin the ball, and go up strong. But he gets fortunate that the foul takes place and he goes to the line. Couldn't agree with more. He does not want to be there. And you see that a lot of Shaq, other bigs that don't shoot the free throw well, they would try to avoid being fouled. They don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah, go back to Shaq. Wait. Tech's hand was so big, I buy into the fact that it was like a soft, trying to shoot a softball for him.
Agreed.
Carpaccio has a good-looking, well, that was great, but he has a good-looking stroke normally. It just goes in half the time.
Somebody opened the door and that last one, the wind blew off to the right.
That was not great. 52-49. All 8 points in the second half for Colorado State, owned by J.D. Page. They go to Cada, and that's 3 on Carpaccio. Timeout, 15:56 to go second half. Utah State by 3.
Primary.
Mountain West basketball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Bojo's Colorado Style Pizza, home of the legendary handmade mountain pie. Visit bojos.com. And by Mako. Visit your local Mako and turn the car you drive into the car you love. 52-49. Utah State has led throughout, but the Rams won't go away. A few moments ago, Utah State had opened up a 9-point lead, and J.D. Page hit a couple of threes. And this is a big sequence here. That was called a foul on Carpaccio, his third of the game.
That left knee gets into him a little bit, but you know what? That could have gone either way.
This is an easy 2 back live for Cada. 10 points for Neemias Cada. Earlier this year, he had 18 and 11 in the victory for Utah State over Colorado State and Logan.
And Carpaccio still out there. I like the fact that out of the timeout, nice play, nice spin. And there he is, puts back the ball. His reaction to the ball off the rim. That's the reason he's such a good offensive rebounder. He's not a big jumper, but he's reactive.
Some of the best rebounders all time, as you know, Dave, weren't tremendous leapers. That's a great feed. Taylor missed. He'll get it back and lay it in. 14 for Quinn Taylor, the senior from Houston. 56-51 Aggies. Brito, a bigger body, is now on Page, and that results in a turnover. Merrill, good feed. Brito got the roll. Thiago Brito, his first 2, and it's an 8-point Aggies lead. Martin fires a 3. That's woefully short. Another thing Utah State does so well, and that's off a sneaker of Colorado State. They'll stay with Utah State. One of the things Utah State does so well is terminate possessions. They allow you one shot. Here's that offensive sequence.
Watch the draw and the kick. The draw, and look how he spotted up right out there. He had his feet set. He was ready to shoot the basketball. Good three-point shooting is like buying real estate. It's about location. Position yourself in the right spot. He knew where to find it. Nice back cut there. A little push by Merrill on the Page. A little push and a little factor.
That's way too easy. 10-point lead for Utah State, their largest of the ball game. Timeout for Colorado State. Going to go. And he made that great pass to Bean. And the Rams are going to run two at him again, trying to get it out of his hands. He's got Martin on him, 6 on the shot clock. See his post-up game. Outside to Moore.
Moore needs to go right at the man and get fouled.
He did.
If you have a quickness advantage, and Moore does that over Abel Porter, and you can get to his hip, go. You may not get the basket, but you get the free throw. A little change of direction, a little burst off the bounce, and he's getting to the line.
This young man also one of the better freshmen in the conference.
No question. And we talked, the last time we had him, that the great Keon Clark from UNLV is from the same high school in Danville.
Did some of Keon Clark's games in the NBA when he played for the Denver Nuggets. 65-59. And both free throws made. It's a 5-point game again. 12 for Moore. 9 minutes into the second half as Abel Porter brings it up against Moore. Porter, nice move. Crossover dribble, got himself to the glass. First hoop, second half for Porter, the sophomore from Farmington, Utah, who will get married this spring. In fact, he's not alone in saying wedding vows this spring. Brock Miller, the birthday boy, he's going to get married this spring. Thistlewood got a 3 for Thistlewood. That is his second triple of the game.
Justin Bean defensively sagged off Thistlewood. You got to stick up close to the guy on the perimeter that's a good three-point shooter.
Dave, you know what's been impressive for Colorado State tonight? Virtually every one of their hoops has come off an assist. Porter, he had it knocked away. Bean is there.
Donnie on the spot.
Yeah, boy, he's played a very nice game quietly for Utah State. 10 now for Bean off the bench. Ball screen for Page.
Yeah, they keep Carvaggio up high so other people can flash and cut and open up the middle.
How about the Carvaggio find?
The passer. You know what Carvaggio means in Spanish, don't you? Passer.
I got to double check. 69-65. Not a big crowd, but they're getting loud here at Moby. Guido winds in. That was too easy.
Guido's been a little bit quiet. When he gets over 10 points, they're a very difficult team to beat. And he's only got 6 so far tonight. Hey, you talked about the crowd. Senior night on Saturday. The crowd's got to come out here. The students got to show. These guys have really put forth a major effort today. Come out and support this team.
Thistlewood cut off nicely by Bean. 4 on the shot clock. I don't think Carvaggio realizes it. And which way? It'll go over to Utah State. Martin.
Yeah,
he should have received the basketball there. He was competing for it, but he thought a Utah State player touched it, as did Nico Medved naturally.
Drew, I agree with you. Carvaggio didn't know there's only 3 in the shot clock, but that's the guard's fault. You don't give the guy the big, so your big player the ball with 3 seconds. You have to make the play as a guard. And one of the things guards have to do, they have to have a clock in their head.
Fancy drive. Another hoop for for Taylor. 16 for Quinn Taylor.
Career high for Quinn Taylor is 22, so he's moving towards it.
Utah State again, back up by 8. Page. Well, when you need a hoop, there's J.D. Page. His 5th triple of the game. He's got 19. Colorado State has not led in this game, but they won't go away. Merrill against Carvaggio,
and clear out and let Merrill take Carvaggio off the bounce.
Then he fires the jumper. And the rebound of Martin, who's played a solid ball game.
Remember, there's no rim protection in there because Kate is on the bench. Go to the basket.
Barbacho missed on the reverse side. He'll get free throws. The foul's on Taylor, his third. Good game in Fort Collins.
Get more. Be there.
Mountain West Basketball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by your Utah Toyota dealers. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Drew Goodman, Dave Bullwinkle, Taylor McGregor from Moby Arena. Colorado State, Utah State. What's on the line for the Aggies? A regular season conference title. They could do no worse than a share of it with a victory tonight in Fort Collins. And their last conference title came under Stu Morrill in the 2010-2011 season when they were still playing in the WAC, and they owned the WAC. They won 20 conference titles through the years. Great basketball tradition in Logan, Utah.
Some great coaches there. You go back to Dutch Belknap, Coach Anderson, and Rod Cooler, Stu Morrill, the big grizzly bear, and now you got Craig Smith, and he's won more games than any coach has done there in his first year ever.
Hey, Coach Smith has more victories than any first-year coach in college basketball this year. Nico Carbato looked like Sam Merrill at the line just there. Got them both, and it is a three-point game. Here comes the crowd again. Merrill gets it back, gets a double team, lays it in. What a beautiful move. What a tremendous talent.
He's just making his case for player of the year in the conference. It's just game after game. He had 29 the other night against Nevada. And I mean, there's some other very good players in the conference, make no doubt about it. But he is the best.
Barbacho blew a layup, but there's Thistlewood to help out.
One of the things that Coach Medved told us, Thistlewood, there you see him around the basket. He is much tougher than he looks. His baby face belies some toughness that's in him.
Coach told us he may be the hardest worker on the team. Brito, no good. Carbacho had his mitts on it, and he goes out to Colorado State. They're going to head up the floor with a chance to tie it, and Cater's going to come in for Craig Smith, and Bean will go out. 6:27 left.
He's got open middle, guys cutting through.
Carbacho flips it in with that right hand. 1-point game. 15 for Carbacho. Now the whole gymnasium standing.
Now there are people in Fort Collins that wish they would have bought a ticket tonight.
Merrill against Thistlewood. Loose basketball, out of bounds to Utah State, 8 to shoot it.
Carbaccio's jump hook on a little shake and bake.
Well, there's the follow by Thistlewood.
Yeah. All right. 8 seconds on the shot clock. I've always done a good job getting the ball to Merrill late in shot clock situations.
Taylor slapped at it, but it comes to Moore. Colorado State could take their first lead of the night.
This play was great boys.
Yeah,
Great boys.
And they used Carvaccio on the high post quite a bit. Martin, on a great feed, got fouled. Foul count's important, Dave. That's the 18th foul on Utah State. Just 2 whistles on Colorado State.
The only time, though, that there could change to be a problem is if Colorado State is behind late. Then it could be. But right now, I couldn't agree with you more. It works to the advantage of the Rams.
Martin ties it. The foul was on Brito. 15 for Chris Martin.
We're getting just what we wanted. You know, on paper, this should be a Utah State win. But as I always say, you don't play on paper, you play on wood. And different things happen on the wood.
And now the Rams have their first lead of the night. 5:10 to go. Merrill working against Page. Got to give it up. Right back to Sam. Now to Cada. And a foul on Carvaccio, number 4. He's going to road him out of bounds.
What Nico has to realize is that once Cada gets underneath the basket like that, he's going to have a hard time scoring in that position on the baseline.
So Nico Medved elects to take out Nico Carvaccio, at least for the moment. And he'll put in Logan Ryan, who actually hung pretty tough despite the size advantage that Cada has on him. And that's another foul. That's on Page before the catch by Taylor.
And a smart foul by Page. Taylor had him posted up. You only have 2 team fouls, or 3 actually, now it's 4. Commit the foul with that third, you kick it to 4, but you're still not in the 1-on-1. Good job by Page on the weak side, keeping the ball from him.
And it comes back to Brito, and another foul. I tell you what, Utah State, they execute so well, but they didn't see Taylor on a switch, had Kendall Moore on it.
That's called a mouse in the house. Get the ball to the big fella. And we have Brito going to the free throw line where he's 79%.
Ryan got the foul, his 3rd. Rams by 1. Brito splashes the free throw to tie it.
And we talked about the foul disparity being in favor of Colorado State, but they picked up 3 fouls on that one possession.
And Utah State back in front. How many folks back in the Cache Valley right now are nervous as can be? Wolfpack later on this evening will take on Dave Filipovic's rapidly improving Air Force Falcons down in Colorado Springs.
Well, we talked about the job that Nico Medved has done here with the Rams. The 2 most surprising teams in the conference, Air Force and Colorado State.
Moore for 3. And Merrill with a mid-paint rebound. Sam gets ripped by Page. 2-on-2. Taylor's back. And JD with the right hand. Rams by 1. Merrill at the other end. Hard foul, count the basket. Moore with the hard foul on Merrill. He went after the basketball. Didn't look pretty at the end.
If you're the trailing Rams coming down on that fast break, and you look ahead and you only see 4 blue jerseys, you know 1 is behind you, and you have to slow down to provide defensive balance.
Aggies by 1. Free throw coming for Sam Merrill. Utah State leading by one. It's been back and forth the last couple of moments. J.D. Page ends up with a steal on Merrill and a creative layup at the other end to get it past Quinn Taylor. But Sam Merrill was all alone at the other end of the floor. He was fouled by Kendall Moore, so he'll have a chance to make it a 2-point Utah State lead.
Kendall Moore is the man who should have counted the 4 blue jerseys and said, that means somebody's behind me, I'd better get back. And that's one of those ones where Merrill doesn't hustle back on defense, but it pays dividends with a layup and a possible 3-point play. And since he's a 91% free throw shooter, you think he'd knock it down.
23 in the game for Merrill. The average is just under 21. And naturally, he makes the free throw, so it's a 2-point Aggie lead. Their largest lead of the night was a dozen. The Rams have led by one twice here in the last couple of minutes.
Carvaggio back in the game. This should be expected at the end of 4.
Page, hard drive, stop, fade, and he hits. What a performance by the senior J.D. Page tonight. 23 for Page.
We talked about being Quinn Taylor's role in the first half as J.D. Page's role in the second half.
80-80. What a ball game. Oh, that's way too easy. Cada with a beautiful bounce pass. Merrill just cut after the pass. That's elementary basketball. Well done by Utah State.
Pass and cut, give and go. And I tell you, one of the things I think is showing is the lack of depth for Colorado State. You have some tired defenders out there.
Oh, man. Martin, that's a rare turnover tonight. Just an unforced error. He just didn't catch the basketball.
Got to watch it into your hands.
That play being called from the bench for Utah State. Merrill. And Cada got the offensive rebound.
Good job by Jenkins running Guido out of that 3. And it's a good decision here to get the ball out and settle down.
Most of Cada's rebounds tonight, interestingly, have been on the offensive end, and none bigger than that last one. Especially if Utah State converts. Brito, hard drive. Carvaggio gets the rebound.
Good job by Jenkins not giving up on the play and contesting the drive by Brito.
Page and check.
And he'll shoot 1 and 1.
Merrill third.
79% free throw shooter.
What a great decision. You really say that when the kid stays home. He went to Range High School in Aurora. You mentioned his granddad was a great Ram, and he was drafted by the Lakers some years ago. Well, his whole family's always at Fort Collins. They're in Wyoming. They're at the Air Force Academy. It's like high school. They get to see their young men play all the time.
He just scored his 25th point. He's now got a new career high.
And we're tied again, this time at 82. 2 minutes even to go. Taylor against Thistlewood. Brito. And the long rebound to Thistlewood. He's not known for his glass work, but that was a big rebound right there. 1:45 left. Carvaggio with 4 fouls against Cada. What a move by Carvaggio! The Portuguese twist, I guess. Against the Portuguese twist. He's Chilean originally. 84-82 Rams.
So Nico Carvaggio takes it one way and throws the ball and comes back the other way. I call that a reverse Mikan.
He was really double teamed because he lost Taylor also in that sequence.
See, Taylor stopped on the play. He didn't think he was going to come back. And he came back and lifted, put that English on the ball and spun it in. How about this? For Craig Smith, Saturday night was a night to remember. And right now, Tuesday night is his worst nightmare. Nothing.
And this, he knew, he's been saying it, as I said, for 3 days. He knew going in this was going to be a fist fight. He has great respect for Nico Medved. He has huge respect for Carvalho and Page. He knew that they were going to get their best shot, and that's what Utah State's getting. And listen, it's not like Utah State's gone through the motions. For most of this night, they shot 65% from the floor. Now, you can question their defense a little bit. Some tough shots have been made by the Rams.
Yes. We're talking about maybe Utah State playing down a little bit, but I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on how well the Rams are playing. And we've said this. Nico Medved has brought this team along during the course of the season to where they're a difficult team to play against right now, even though they're short-handed with the two key guards on the bench.
1:26 left. Utah State with the basketball. They're down by 2. Merrill with Taylor. Abel Porter's out there. Kata and Quinn Taylor. Merrill against Page. Tough shot by Merrill. Stronger than you think.
Yes, good call. Stronger than you think. He used the width of his body, gets the ball, and gets the English around the basket.
28 from Merrill after scoring 29 on Saturday night. Carvalho waited for a moment, and there's that right hand.
Who needs a left hand when you got the right hand?
19 for Carvalho. And Kata wrapped up immediately by design on the catch by Thistlewood.
And not a bad play by
17 foul, and now you put a 50% free throw shooter, 55 to be precise, at the line. .52 seconds left.
He is the block out and pinch. And they did.
Martin the rebound. Now, how do you play it if you're Colorado State?
He's going to take a timeout. Nico wants a timeout right now.
Okay, because he wants to tell his kids how to play it.
Exactly. So 45 seconds. You can either get a quick shot, all right, and make sure you have the last shot, okay? Even though you're up by 2. I wouldn't do that. I would take this foul and I'd just play basketball. If we get a good shot, we shoot it. If we don't get a good shot, all right, we finish it off at the end of the shot clock and go down and guard.
First quality shot, then.
First quality shot. That's how I'm playing. First quality shot. Now, the other thing I may do, let's go back to the other end. If we are up 2, say we don't score down the other end, I may foul Kata immediately right away.
Here's something else to keep in mind. Utah State, their next foul puts Colorado State in a double bonus. It'll be an automatic 2-shot foul. That's where this foul count was evened out quite a bit in the last few minutes. But it's advantage Colorado State, because the other thing Nico can do is force if it goes into Kata, he can foul him again.
Well, you're talking to our stats man when I said that on the air. That
I'm sorry, yeah.
I understand completely. I would contemplate doing that, okay? Come down the other end. Say you're up 2, foul Kata immediately. The very worst thing that happens is he makes them both, and you've got the last shot of the game.
I agree with something you said a moment ago also. You know, an outsider looking in right now, or maybe just reading the score across the ticker or on the internet will say, oh, Utah State let down. It is far more about how well Colorado State has played tonight.
No question about it. Colorado State has played very well. Go deep in the backcourt, fine. Now you got plenty of time.
Yeah, the two guys who've been great tonight are going to decide this game, chances are. Page with the basketball, Merrill on defense, both ways.
No question. It's just what Nico Medved said, hold it out there. Now he wants to screen.
Page to the hoop. It's blocked. First block of the game by the block leader in the conference, Kata.
A volleyball block.
Merrill pulls in. He'll go to the line. Did they call it on Carvalho?
Yes.
If they did, he's gone. And that's huge, not only in the last sequence here, But if this game were to go overtime, Nico Carvacho fouls out. And before he departs, he wants the crowd to continue to roar.
He is fouled out, but he's not out of the game. He has kept his head in the game, encouraging the crowd and being with his teammates. All right, let's go back to Merrill at the line. Let's assume Merrill makes them both. You've still got the last shot of the game. Okay, so the very worst thing that happens to you, it goes over. So just be smart. The big thing now is to block out in case you might miss it. Make sure you pinch Kate on the other side.
So a tie game as Merrill does his thing. What Colorado State loses is the tap-in possibility with Carvacho, who's as good as anybody we've seen on the offensive glass. I mean, he leads college basketball in offensive rebounds. He leads in overall rebounds.
And Coach Nedved wanted a timeout to draw up what he wants.
What a game. What a tremendous game. Tied at 86. Let's look at the comparison between the junior guard for Utah State and the senior guard, J.D. Page, for Colorado State.
Well, they've both been the stars of the game for their respective teams. 32 for one, 25 for the other. Great field goal percentages. But the big thing there on Page's side is the number of threes he's knocked down.
Merrill has filled up the stat sheet, hasn't he? Both guys, terrific tonight.
So don't be surprised if this ends up being a clear out for Page. They've taken and brought Robbie Berwick in and stuck him in the right corner. Now he's a good shooter, and Kate is out on him. They want to take Kate away from the rim. So Kate can't protect the rim. And now we got one-on-one Page against Merrill.
I didn't think they were going to bring a screen. They are with Bissell, who can also shoot it. 3 to shoot it. JD for the game. Off. We'll go overtime. Yep, he got a good look. And that's exactly what Nico Medved wanted. He wanted his best player taking the shot, and he didn't want any time on the clock. Extra basketball in Fort Collins. We'll go overtime in Fort Collins. Colorado State and Utah State tied at 86. Again, a ton on the line for Utah State. With a win, they guarantee themselves no worse than a share of the regular season conference title in the Mountain West. J.D. Page a moment ago had a shot for the victory. He's got tremendous range. He's about 6 feet behind the three-point arc with Merrill on him. And he missed it right.
As I said, I would have liked to see him make a little effort to drive first and then come back. If you got to fall back into the three, that's fine. But take the ball at the basket a little bit, especially because you've got better quickness off the bounce than Merrill.
Now a decided advantage to Utah State because Carvacho has fouled out. Queta has just 3 fouls. And the big man controls the tap. So here we go. 5 minutes of overtime basketball. Sam Merrill has played all 40 minutes, and was there a foul? No foul. I thought it was going to be a turnover, but it was touched by Colorado State.
A very good set play out of the timeout, getting the back screen to get Queta inside. He was open. Pass was a lost target, but the Rams kicked it out of bounds.
Logan Ryan at 6'7" is going to have to guard the near 7-foot Queta. And he's taken away by Page. 3-on-3 the other way. Page. Is it a walk or a foul? Nope, a walk.
Let's stay on the drive. First of all, Queta brings the ball down. Is it a walk? That's a travel. No question. He shuffled those feet.
Yep.
Coach Medved just saw that extra long step. He didn't see the little pity pat before.
Moore and Page for Colorado State, just like Merrill, have played the entire game. Merrill pulls up, 20th shot of the game, rebound to Queta. Right at Ryan, and the rebound to Martin. Tell you what, Ryan showing some toughness, reaching foul on Brito.
Brito reaching across the body. Even if you tip the ball, you reach across the body, it's going to be an automatic foul, and guess what? Going to the line, now it's a double bonus. So Martin, who's just a mediocre free throw shooter at 59%, doesn't have to have the onus on the first free throw to get the second. He's going to shoot two no matter what.
Well, he's done a good job tonight, though. He's 5 out of 6 from the line. He somewhat inconspicuously, Dave, has played a good ball game. 17 points, 6 rebounds, a couple of assists for Chris Martin. Not shooting like a 59%er, is he?
No, he's not.
88-86, 50 seconds into the overtime. Colorado State by 2. Porter harassed by Moore. That was probably... goaltending wasn't called. The shot was made by Taylor. I thought that may have been touched on the way down anyway.
But let's give Logan Ryan credit for coming across from the weak side to contest the shot. Crystal did a good job of walling up and making the shot difficult for Taylor.
And Page got caught up in the air and couldn't find a white jersey. Turnover.
Remember I said earlier about one of the things that's good about Merrill, he plays on 2 feet with 2 hands. Their young guard saw if you fly through the air, not playing on 2 feet, how it can lead to turnover.
Dave, we're in overtime. Colorado State has just 5 turnovers, and Utah State has just 7.
No, this has been a very cleanly played game.
Here's Queta. Merrill against Page. Good pass. Unselfish play, and an easy 2 for Queta. 90-88 Aggies. 3:10 to go. Queta with 12. By the way, Carvacho fouled out. 19 points, 9 rebounds.
I'd like to see Kendall Moore take Porter off the dribble.
That's behind, and really a turnover, and it is now. One day, who knows when, many years from now, I hope J.D. Page and Sam Merrill get together sometime to talk about this classic. Classic game by the team, classic by both individuals. Step away, jumper by Merrill. 4-point lead for the Aggies. What was called?
Utah State called a timeout.
Oh, I thought for a second, yep, it is timeout. I thought there was a foul after the shot made by Merrill.
And it's a 30-second timeout. Oh, I changed it. They changed to a full timeout. Now there's a little discussion here. Now it's only a 30-second timeout. They're coming back. The officials have finally got their act together, and the Warriors went off the floor. So Merrill with that little step back, he's just a clever player. He'll be playing City League at age 60 and schooling guys that are 25.
He's a real, you know what? You throw any adjective you want. He's really, really good. That's what he is.
I told you, he gets my vote for player of the year in the conference. And there are other good ones. But his team's in first, and all he does.
Page. And that's off. And now Utah State, with 2 minutes to go, has a 4-point lead. You get a 6-point lead at this juncture, it would be enormous.
Good job by Tatum working the spin and pivot. He doesn't understand. He doesn't need to do this quite yet. Wait till the ball's in the position to be fed to him.
8 on the shot clock. Merrill, quick shot. Rebound by Taylor. How big was that?
And a good decision to bring it out. They still don't have enough points to win the game. They still have to compete against the Rams. Up 4 with 1:27.
And this is where the late departure of Carvacho fouling out has been enormous.
Another timeout taken now by Craig Smith. And it's another 30-second timeout. So Craig Smith's talking to the team about what to do. We've got 15 seconds left in the shot clock. We need to get ourselves a good shot. We come down the other end. Let's say if we score, we're up by 6. Okay, we're up 6. Got to just play smart and not commit fouls. There's some other things to remember. He gets the ball. The possession arrows in favor of the Rams. What the foul count is. All these things he's going through with his club right now.
And one of the reasons they've been the best defensive team in the Mountain West all year is the presence, the mere presence of number 23, Tata in the middle. Even when he doesn't load up the number of blocks in a given game, you think twice about driving down the lane because he's there.
It's not just the shots he blocks, it's the shots he alters and deters. So
or the penetrations that are deterred. You can't even go there. Here's Merrill. Huge shot from Sam Merrill. 6-point lead. 94-88 with 1:10 left.
Now they do have enough points to win the game. They're playing against the clock, not against the Rams. They have to play smart down the stretch. And playing smart starts here by not committing a foul.
36 for Merrill. His career best is 37. And the rebound of Tata. You got a foul if you're Colorado State, and they do. I've run out of adjectives and superlatives to describe Sam Merrill.
How about just good? You know Jim Collins' book Good to Great? Well, tonight he's gone from good to great.
You know, as part of the package, Sam Merrill shoots the ball equally well off the right-hand dribble and the left-hand dribble. And most players have a preference. I watched him in their warm-up, in their layup line. There was no smiling, there was no grinning. It was game on. He was overshadowed the last 2 years by Toby McEwen.
Yeah, who went to transfer to Marquette.
Sitting out this year, he'll play for Marquette next year. And McEwen's terrific talent.
Merrill's the better player. The other may be more talented, but Merrill's the better player.
And it's really emerged this year. And it's not like he was chopped liver last year. He averaged 16.5 last year. So Tata with a 1-1.
And if you had to foul, he's who you want at the line. Push it.
Colorado State.
You don't have to get a 3. Go to the basket. See, that's good, smart play.
That's the clock with 46 seconds left, and it'll put Chris Martin at the line.
We haven't seen Brock Miller for a while. Here he's coming back in. Well, they want stability in free throw shooting. He's probably coming in for Tata.
Let that one roll out. Just his second miss tonight. Takeda, with 4 fouls, goes out.
One of the first things you need to understand, the Rams, after the free throw, will be pressing. The inbounds passer needs to run the baseline. He can run the baseline to get a better passing angle. Oh, he missed them both.
He missed them both, and that's a foul Taylor.
So let's
taking Takeda out, so he wasn't an option.
Let's talk about
Taylor is a 69% free throw shooter. Go ahead.
Wait, when coaches talk about finishing games, and this is what right now the Aggies are trying to do, number one, down the stretch, you got to make your free throws. All right? And this is a good free throw shooting team.
Best in the conference at 75.
Yeah, 75. Best in the conference. Number two, be strong with the basketball. Don't let them rip you. No foolish fouls, and know the score and clock situation. Know the score and clock situation. One of those was the possession arrow was in favor of the Rams.
Let me correct that. It wasn't Taylor who got fouled. It was Brito who got fouled. And Brito is a 79% free throw shooter.
Now with 45 seconds to go, if you're talking to the Rams, do you want a 3 or do you want a 2? It all depends if the differential is divisible by 3. Right now it's 7 points. So regardless of what happens in this free throw, drive the ball to the basket at the other end. The other team has been told not to foul you. Drive the ball to the basket. Don't waste time trying to get a 3.
Page drives, and
that's what they do.
That's a foul on Takeda, I believe, and that will foul him out.
See, that's when Takeda can't be aggressive. He needs to know to just get his hand up and make J.D. Page have to loft the ball over that big paw. He may or may not make it, but letting them score with the clock stopped at the free throw line and then be in a position to set their press up, plus you lose the rim protection, so you just fouled out.
Page, who has not come off the floor tonight. 26 points.
Well, we haven't stopped talking. Why should he stop playing? Plus, he does get a full scholarship, doesn't he? Yeah, I like that move right now. What Nico Medved did by subbing Berwick with a horn allows them to set their press up without using a timeout. That's a smart coaching move. Sometimes what happens late in the game, touches that weren't fouls early become fouls late because they think you're trying to foul.
So Brito will go back to the line. Page, with 26 points, a new career high, committed the foul. 36 seconds left. And it goes, so often when you have a tight game, it comes down to free throw shooting. We're just illustrating that. If Utah State hits their free throws and Brito misses again, they can put this away.
Now, if he makes this one, it's a 6-point differential, so look for the quick 3.
I shorted Page a point. He's got 27, by the way. And he's got 29 now. It is out of bounds this way. They're going to go look at this.
Yeah, they're going to look at the monitor. Kelly Stafford's not sure which way. He called it to be Colorado State's ball. But now he wants to go double check. And what does that mean? That means if he's going to reverse it, there has to be irrefutable, say that again, Bullwinkle, irrefutable evidence on the replay that the ball went off the rim. So we're taking a look here. What's it look like here? It's over in the corner. What does it go off of?
Hard to tell.
Really difficult. That's the reason you guys are making more money than us. So one of the things I like the officials is doing. Kelly and Vern looking at it right now. Then they'll bring Mike Greenstein over and he'll take a look. And then the three of them will huddle up and they'll come to a conclusion and explain it to both coaches. The one thing that needs to be done, though, this has to happen faster for college basketball. Sometimes it just takes too long. on that out-of-bounds play, when Taylor took it out, he did a good job of running the baseline. He just went to the wrong side, as it turned out. He should have looked for, see, he's got the open man here. That's who he should have hit, Merrill.
That's always a good idea to hit Merrill.
Amen. I'm getting the ball to Merrill every time I can.
This is the 99th meeting between these two schools. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say the previous 98 would have had to have been really, really good to surpass what we've watched tonight for 44 minutes and almost 31 seconds.
Well, it's been our privilege to be here. You know, speaking of being our privilege to be here, we got to get a little time to talk here. My privilege to work for AT&T Sportsnet and do the Mountain West on TV. I mean, I'm very fortunate. The ball stays with the Rams.
That's huge. They can make it a 2-point game here, and there's still all kinds of time. Looked a moment ago like Utah State was going to be able to put this away.
Remember, they don't need to get a 3 here.
Martin goes quickly, 2-point game. 26 seconds left.
They got it to Merrill. Double him. Get the
Merrill, took a shot to the chest and to the jaw. But he's the guy, if you're a Utah State fan, you want at the line, naturally.
Football's a collision sport. Basketball's a contact sport. You want a non-contact sport, play tiddlywinks. So Merrill has to go to the free throw line with a double bonus, so he's got 2 chances.
Oh, efficient is that? 15 out of 23. His career high is 37. He just tied it. He had that earlier this year against Montana State.
He hits nothing but the bottom of the net. Okay? The rim is an afterthought.
4-point lead again for the Aggies.
And Utah State takes a timeout here. So, one of the things that Coach Smith wants to do is to set up how they're going to play this. The first thing I'm going to do is 22 seconds, I'm going to extend up the floor a little bit. I call it a coward press. Not because they're cowards, but because they're not really trying to steal the ball. They're just trying to get the Rams to dribble it faster and take, dribble it sooner, not roll it up, and take a few ticks off the clock.
And again, same strategy. You don't need a 3 if you're Colorado State.
Not at all. You want a 2. And what do they tell them to do? Drive the ball to the basket because the Aggies have been told not to foul. Now, if I'm Coach Smith, I'm going to take my biggest player, in that case Taylor, and I'm going to station him right in the paint so I got some rim protection. Now, he's got him up the floor. I would put him in the paint.
And again, Carvacho fouled out late in regulation. Tata fouled out late in overtime. Here's Page. He wants the 3. No good. Rebound to Porter, and then the foul by Moore. So the Rams elected to shoot the quick 3. And now Abel Porter, who's a 71% free throw shooter, will walk to the other end of the floor.
Now, one of the things that Coach Smith does that I like, some coaches don't do this. In these situations, oftentimes coaches will take and bring both the men in the offensive rebounding spot, Miller and Taylor, and bring them all the way back. And I think then the shooter feels all alone and naked. I want him up there. I want him to have some friends there. So he puts the friends there, and he misses the free throw anyway.
More than the friends there, you got 2 guys competing for an offensive rebound.
No, I tell them, you don't compete for an offensive rebound. You run back immediately.
We missed them both. Here's Martin. Inside, and Ryan gets stripped by Porter, and then he nearly turned it over. He did. Thistlewood makes a layup, 2.5 left, 2-point game. And the foul came on Porter. They're going to look at the clock. Right now it says .5. What a crazy finish this is turning out to be.
Well, the Aggies gave him a chance. The reason they gave him a chance
because of free throws.
Well, they missed the free throws, but then the interception at the other end. Aggies have the ball up 4, and Porter throws the ball across the face of the basket. Now, what you never want to do, we're going to see it coming up here, okay? And if we can freeze it right here. You see that pass comes across the mouth of the basket. You don't want to throw passes that are parallel to the baseline because if they are intercepted, they become turnovers for touchdowns. And there's a turnover for a touchdown right there. And Porter knows he made a mistake. Throw the ball up the floor. Now, as you said, Drew, the officials trying to make sure how much time is left on the clock with with a 2-point differential and free throws coming up.
You know, for Abel Porter, it was bad, good, bad. Bad that he missed 2 free throws, good that he got a steal, bad that he then turned it over immediately. That's basketball sometimes.
It's the reason I was gray very early in my life. It wasn't just the DNA and the fact that my parents were gray early. I went gray early. You know what it is? People in the audience don't understand. These guys running up and down the court, for Craig Smith and for Nico Nedved, they've got their paychecks in their mouth running up and down in their underwear.
Well, you know what? I think they're going to be okay because I think both schools are going to have them back next year.
Okay.
Thank you.
1.9 on a shot clock, on a game clock. Excuse me, Drew, go ahead.
Yeah, Kelly Pfeiffer just came by, and after looking at it, says 1.9. At 0.5, you're feeling a little more comfortable with your Utah State. Huge free throws for Porter. He can make it a 2-possession game. He gets the roll.
Well, the bottom line is, if he makes this, the game's over.
Yep.
If he doesn't make this, and
you got a prayer.
Unbalanced, because you're up 3. I don't want to run risk of the guy throwing it from the base.
He iced it with that shot.
And now what I do is I bring the blue jerseys all over next to me on the sideline. Because there's no way we can lose unless we do something really foolish. Like commit a foul on the 3-point shooter.
And they were smart. Utah State, in a slugfest in overtime, survives Colorado State 196. Congratulations to the Utah State Aggies, picked 9th in the preseason, and they will do no worse than sharing a conference regular season title. Nevada will have a say whether they can share it. They have 2 more games, one going on right now down in Colorado Springs. What a performance.